Welcome back, and today we are going to look at Rust collection. Now, Rust provides several collections in the standard library for storing a variable number of values. Collections are more flexible than arrays or tuples because their size can change if their contents are stored on the heap. The most commonly used collections are these three vector, which is also represented by vector t, allows you to store a variable number of values next to each other. Next is string. A string is a collection of characters. It's growable, mutable, owned, and UTF-8 encoded string type. Next is the hash map. Hash map has KV, which is also key value, allows you to map keys of the type K to the values of the type V. It implements the associative array data structure. So let's look at vectors in more detail. Now, vectors allow you to store more than one value in a single data in a single data structure, and all values must be of the same type. Vectors are implemented using generics. That's why vectors in angular bracket you'll see t can hold any type. Now let's look at how to create a vector. Now, if I want to create a vector, say let v, and then of the type vector, and inside that I want the data type of I32 equal to vector new. This is how you can initiate a new vector. Now, how do I use this vector? So let's look at that and say let v equal to vec1, 2, and 3. So this is how you can use. How do you update a vector? To update a vector, let's say I have a mutable vector vec new, and now inside this I want to push some value, so I can just say push, and let's say 5. You can similarly write it a bunch of times, as many times you want, 6, 7, 8. This is how you can push values or update a particular vector. Now, how do you, if you want to read elements from a vector and print them out, let's say let's third 32 equal to, and I'm going to give the value of vector 2. So I'm going to just go ahead and comment these out for now, and then in here I'm going to say print ln the third element is third. So in this case, what will happen is, let's go ahead and run this. So you'll see the third element, okay, spelling mistake there. Third element is 7. Why is it saying 7? This is the first, second, and this is the third element, because we created a new vector and we pushed in there. If you push numbers just to make sure that gives you values properly, here it is. So that's how you can use it. You can also use the match. I can say match v dot get 2. Now I'm going to say sum if it matches. I'll say print ln the third element is third. If it doesn't match, let's say use the none, print ln there is no third element. So I'm asking get me the third element, and let's run this. So when the third element is 3, so what it does is it tries to get the third element 0, 1, 2, and if this does exist, it's going to say that. If it doesn't exist, it will give an error. So if I go again, it will say, if you check this out, it says index out of bounds. It gives me the error saying that there is no third element in there. So that's with vectors. Now let's look at strings. Now strings are a collection of characters. Rust has only one string type in the core language, which is str, the string slice type. The string type, which is provided by Rust standard library, is a growable, mutable, owned UTF-8 encoding type string, which we saw before. Now let's go ahead and see how we can create a new string. I'm going to comment this vector code out or get rid of that. And if I want to create, let's say, a mutable string, you can see, you probably have seen this before in some of our examples, but this is how you can create a new string. Now to update a particular string, I can say, let's say if I have this string that I've created with some, let's say, call it mute foo dot to string. So I'm saying that take this set of characters and convert that into string, and then I'm going to say s dot push underscore string bar. So now this will take this string and then add bar to it. Now also there's concatenation. Now you can do concatenation with plus as many other languages, or you can use the format macro. So what do I mean by that? Let's say that we create one s1 equal to string from hello. So I'm creating a string here, and then I create s2. You know what's going to go inside that? I'll just go ahead and copy this, and I'm going to say world. So I have the hello string and the world string, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to create another string, say s3, and inside that I'm going to say use s1 and s2 concatenate. Now instead of doing this, you can also do this here. What I'm doing is s1 has been moved here and cannot be used anymore, but s2, you're just passing the address location of that so it knows what the value is. So that's just another way of doing it. Another option is I can say s, let's say 4, using the format I mentioned. So format macro, and inside this I can say this space this, and I want to have s2 and s3 in this. The reason I'm using s2 and s3 is because s1 doesn't exist anymore, so it will concatenate these two strings. Now s2 is world and s3 is hello world, so it's going to display that inside s4 or save that inside s4. Next one that we want to look at is HashMap. Now HashMap has key value pairs, also in some languages you know it as dictionary. So HashMap allows you to associate a value of some type of v with a key of some type k. So what does that mean? Let's go ahead and create, let's, for this, first of all I'll need the library. So I'm going to say use from the standard library of, I think it's collections, and I want to use HashMap from there. Now to create one, let's see, let's use course for this one, and I'm going to say HashMap new. This is how we can initialize a HashMap. Now if I want to insert something inside this HashMap, I can say scores dot insert, and I can say I want to insert string from, so this is the key that I'm assigning it, saying let's say blue team has scored 10 points. So key value, this is how you can assign key values inside HashMap. Same thing, you can do that again, insert from, let's say yellow team, I'll give it 50 points. Now if you want to access the values of this, what you can do is you can just say, let's say team name string from blue. I'm creating a string here with the team name and its score equal to scores dot get, and I'm going to pass the pointer to it. I'm going to say team name to whatever I created. So what this will do is it will give me the score from inside here which matches with this particular value. So if blue, since I'm passing blue, it's going to give me 10 here. So, and that's how HashMap works. Now if you want to update a particular HashMap, which is more like overwriting a particular value, you can do that. You can only insert if the key has no value. You can also do updating a value based on the old value. What I mean by these is, for example, let's say if I want to overwrite a value, so I can say scores dot insert string. Let's copy this here. Say I want to change this to 25. So what this does is this overrides the previous value, which was 10. Now it's going to put 25 inside this. Now similarly, if you don't want to do anything, if the key exists already, there is a value and you don't want to do anything, I can say is scores.entry is the function that I use, and let's update this one. So if I want to update yellow, in this case, or insert. So what I'm doing is, if this value exists, then don't do anything, or if it doesn't exist, then go ahead and insert 50 inside it. So that's how entry works. So if it checks if the entry exists, if it doesn't exist, it will create this entry and insert 50. Next thing is updating a value based on the old value. So I can just say let's text equal to hello world, wonderful world, something like that. I have a string here, and now I'm creating a table HashMap. How do I create it? HashMap new, and next I want to go through, write a for loop to check from the text. I split it with the white space in there, so it's going to split into hello world, wonderful, and world. So white space is the function. So what it does is it gives me first hello, puts it in word, and then runs this for loop, and inside this for loop it will check let count equal to map dot entry word. So I'm checking if this word exists. If it doesn't, what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert the value 0, and then I will say count plus equal to 1. So I'm incrementing the value of count, and it goes to the next one and then keeps on doing this. So this is how you can update a value based on an old value. Now Rust collections, all the things that we learned here, are powerful tools for storing and managing data in your programs. Vectors allow for storing lists of values, strings handle collections of characters, and HashMap associate keys with values. Now understanding and using these collections effectively will enable you to handle various data storage and manipulation tasks in Rust. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comments and I'll get back to you.